Evening down on the East Coast, 6:30. 6:30. Waiting for that YouTube. Hello. All right, there we go. All right. 10 of you in here. Okay. I'm going to go back in time. I'm going to do some talking. Just going to wing. That's what I was just saying. That's what I do. Anyway, admiring how much I'm liking they're deleting my channel. Fuck you. Okay. Let's start with this. Okay, so Heidi's, the journalists are even getting pissed. The machine is getting pissed about what's going on. The censorship, the war room, IMT, fuck you. Pardon my language. Nosy, good evening. Caper, sad, Sandy, Cindy, I'm in. Okay. You're in. Leah, Nova Scotia Freckles, 16 of you in here. And one decides to go. Okay. Wylie. Not good. How's everybody tonight? Gotta go. She's in, she's gotta go. Okay. All right. Well, do have a good evening. Now, news from the, I have these all open on 17, just to give you an idea. Like this is my average day. You know, these are all different pages I have open. I do a little bit of research and reading. That's just one browser. Now, I want to go back in time. I just happened to click on a video that they have left me. Fucking assholes. One day it will all come. Ottawa's got a record of it all, for sure. All right. Let's go to this isn't the first time, by the way. But it just happened to be a time. Molly, oh dear. Good evening. NS44 is in here. Thank you for reconstruction. I'd love to see, some practical. So 11.5 by, what is it? 11.5 by 12.5, foot by foot. Come on. It feels like, if anybody remembers something about, I had some paper one day and I held it up, 2 pieces of paper taped together. It's like, oh. Anyway, now, Gary. So funny. I was just wondering, Shameless Group's reaction to Wylie ruling. All right. So there is an order. I'm just trying to my mind doing its thing. All right, so let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do this. Have I got that? Oh, wow. Computer not happy. I did click share. Oh, no. Oh, whoop. Okay, maybe. Sorry. Computer having issues there for a moment. I don't know. Should we listen to McNeil? This is not for, and like my videos are getting smaller too. 40 minutes. Some of them are 40, 45 minutes. I'm like, I don't stream for that little amount of time. Okay. You can tell what's important by what they want to hide the most. All right. Okay. So, what's the date here? August 4th. Is that it? August 6th. August 6th, 2020. Okay. Again, it's just something I randomly picked. I don't know. I have no idea. I'll be totally honest with you. That I've spoken of over the years. I mean, I know roughly, but each video, no fucking idea, man. I just go. I don't have a script. August 6th, 2020. Okay. This is McNeil going. Let's just have a listen. Some lame ass excuse. Don't worry about it. Trust me. They're all friggin' liars. And so you do have to remain true on this one. So thank you very much to, I think that person wants to remain anonymous. They like to remain anonymous. Now, there's going to be strategy involved in this. Strategy, very good strategy. Women, you have a big role here. It's going to get bigger. Trust me. You need to start blasting around all over on the Twitter, the tweeties, the twatters. I think I made something yesterday, just, kind of in passing. Where did I put that? Oh, no. Lots of other things in here. About the stories about the RCMP, their neglect of women, resulting in death, homicides, the sexual abuse within the RCMP, this kind of stuff. Please, I implore you, listen to me, because I'm giving you some advice based on some knowledge that I have that I can't talk about. This is stuff you're going to have to do, and it has to be done by the women. Men who start doing it, it is going to backfire terribly on us. That is what they want. So stay clear. But women can rally forward and step up to this one. So you have to talk about the things like the sexual harassment suits, the multiple ones within the RCMP. You have to speak about the abuse that exists of spousal abuse between RCMP members and their spouses. Okay, RCMP members and their spouses. You also need to speak about how there is the dismissive attitude of women's claims within the RCMP. No, you're crazy. That one lady, let's see, this lady here, just the other day, right? Okay. Let's go up here and see if we can get this a bit bigger. Well, it's not just the other day, but this is taking place after the Portapic stuff, right? Susie Bootland. Okay. Start blasting this around on Linda McDonald. Now, I'm not singling her out because I have a problem with her. I don't. I understand what's going on, but let's not get into that right now. blasted around on Linda McDonald, Lenore Zan, Justin Trudeau, Bill Blair, all of these people. Let's take the focus away, because this is going to be key. It's going to come out that some stuff is, they're turning the tables, okay? And they're going to say, if you, they're turning the tables. Huh? Bootland, August 6th, 2020. I ran through this case numerous times. Watch it. The War Room. I talk about it. Start asking questions. Boom. We are going to say that you are a hater of women. This is why men can't do anything. But this case is very clear. First of all, they lied in court. Second of all, the RCMP did. Second of all, it resulted in the death of a woman. They were dismissive. They even called her crazy. Okay? So please, 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 I implore you, my fine sisters out there who are fighting tooth and nail also, right? We're all doing this together. You have a big role, and it is going to be your time to step to the plate. You've got to start blasting this stuff down on all of the people involved within this review committee or inquiry or whatever the fuck they want to call it now. Trust me, it's just a sham. It's a sham. I believe that Linda McDonald will be going August 6th, 2020. 2020. That's over 2 years ago. It's a sham. Bootland. Into it now. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it in the last day or two. Does anybody know anything about it? I believe Linda McDonald or one of the crew, Jeannie, anybody know Jean Sarson? Her dad, who was RCMP. Okay. There's lots of facts here that are not known publicly. But this whole thing, it's a concept. It's a very difficult one to accept that they had it out for you from the beginning. And at 10:01, just like I said from the very onset of this, 10:01, as soon as they got that phone call, they knew what the hell was going down. And it was damage control. And it was create people, create narratives. How can we deflect? How can we do things? Literally creating stuff, fictitious things, sowing them in the media, and getting that all ready for the 4-month in. Oh, here we have something for you. Oh, but it has to do with this. Fuck you, man. Has nothing to do with that. Apples, oranges. Everybody's minds know apples, oranges. We're not talking about femicide. We're not talking about all of that. Those details, if you push, are going to roll out as to the truth on some of that stuff. So I encourage you, man, you guys, we can do the research, right? And we can get the details. We can help our sisters out. But it is incumbent 100% upon women to spread that, because you cannot, they will come back to you. I've watched this in other areas, other issues. They will say that you're a self-hating woman. They will do this kind of stuff. Stay true. You know the truth. We all know. Good women don't hate themselves, right? But asking questions of the RCMP doesn't mean that you're a woman hater. All right. So I'm very, very, very happy, but this is just the first card. There is a big house of cards, and it goes all the way to the top and further. But Let's keep pushing. It has nothing to do with politics. I frankly don't give a fuck about politics. Yes, I have some attitudes about or opinions on politics. So I'm not going to go any further. There's videos back there. The reason, funnily enough, God does strange things, I believe that. There's divinity to everything, even though maybe lots of people don't believe that stuff. But lots of people do believe in fate. Fair, right? Nothing's a coincidence. Nothing. Miraculous coincidence. You know? Somebody left a comment and says that they were going back through the videos. A couple of people did. Ones that let me see. And they're like, oh, you're spot on about something else. And I was just like, oh, so I'll just randomly flip through some videos. And I'm like, oh, tons missing here, of course. Let me have a look at that one, though. This is what comes up. Bootland I spoke about so many times. And I'm like, you guys are treating this woman like shit. And you're using her story. And look what we have now. I'm not saying, again, and I'm not saying that I'm 100% right back there, but there is a lot. There's a lot. And there's a lot of things that we collectively, too, uncovered. And I wish the strategy had panned out, but, you know, God does whatever it does. Wrecked the female Discord server. That would have been awesome. Would have been awesome. But it didn't work out. But so be it. That's the way things go. The war room was out right away. Femicide was out right away. Bootland cover story right away. They knew they had something else they had to deal with too. They used these other events and things like events, horror shows to cover up their dirty laundry elsewhere. And in this case, it's Bootland. And you know, part of it. Bootland is a mess. A mess. Who doesn't allow somebody to testify? Wylie, McDonald, Baselt, and winding them up. August 24th. Video, I think, is August 24th. Right at the end of it, I said, watch the Bootland report. The same, they're redacted. The names that you're going to see are going to be some of the same names. Boom, 3 days later. And I don't even think we got all of them yet. I still haven't even been able to find the Bootland, the full Bootland report, because I've seen it on there. I've physically seen it, the one that was redacted. So I want the old. Anybody who remembers that comm number, please let me know so that I can find it in amongst the trove of goop. Oh dear is finding. All right, I am finding that your 911 is also very incompetent. It's very appalling how long it took them to tell RCMP about calls. Seeing a lot of issues already 10:30 to 11 o'clock. So are you having issues with the quote unquote transcripts? Is that what you're saying? Or what's that about? Let's get stop share. excuse me, the timeline. Okay, so then we're going to talk about that. I find it interesting, some of their wording. Let me see. I have them open. I don't even know where the fuck they are. News. This website is horrific. Whoever designed this intentionally to be the worst that it could be, I hope you have some great dreams in the future. Hello, what the heck? September 2nd. Tuesday, Greg Wylie, his involvement in the case of Susie Bootland. Okay, 1 p.m. witness. Witness testimony is available to watch by the public, but will require registration. They want to figure out who you are. They want to figure out who you are. Who's the ones who are dissidents here? Who are the ones who have questions? As noted above, the above accommodation request. You can find out more information by going to the calendar page, Now, this applies to, where's the rule on this one? I had it open on other stuff, which makes me upset because I read through their files. Wretched. Now I can't see it. Have they changed it again? The rule. They're citing specific law. This is crazy, says YouTube, interestingly enough. Dissemination. Anybody who watches this stuff, okay, it sounds like you can register, you can listen, I believe is my read to the call, to the Zoom. Okay. Only accredited media and participants, I believe, are allowed to view, but correct me if I'm wrong on that. As public, you can listen. Nobody, including media, can, quote, record, disseminate, share what they hear. Now, and I am not a lawyer, so please do not take this as legal advice at all. And I find it interesting they sprung it on the last moment, and I should have just get down with my lawyers and have a meeting with them, but I haven't. So this is just a lay person's opinion on it. But I would say, not a legal opinion. I have to preface that, so do not take what I say. My opinion of that is that you can listen to it. You possibly for your own purposes, maybe could record it. Be very careful. Maybe. You cannot share it with anybody. You cannot do anything with it. And that might not be right either. Maybe you can just listen and it has to go in here and that's all. That could be it. And if you do break those rules, which they're saying that it's any authority, any I wish I could search my tabs here. I wonder if I can find what I was looking for. Give me a moment. Let's see if I can find it. Debbie. is 2-year jail sentence, possibly, or a summary conviction, summary conviction. So I'm not sure. Do everything at your own risk. That was my read as a layperson. I don't know law. I'm not in a position to say that. Even if I was a lawyer, any lawyer who's a good lawyer would tell you, I can't comment on that. You'd have to engage me as your specific solicitor. Here we go. Okay, participant consultations. Oh, have they changed it then? Because I don't think I saw this. Okay, so Rule 43, this is old pages that I have open. Rule 43, I don't know, maybe it's somewhere on the calendar stuff. Rule 43. So I'm going to read you what they write verbatim. You take with that from what you will. What to expect if you register to watch the proceedings the afternoon of Tuesday, September 6th. You will receive confirmation email that you can attend virtually. On Tuesday morning, you will receive a Zoom link to watch the proceedings, which were conducted on the Monday at 1, if I'm reading that correct, right? This webinar link, and so your audio video will not be visible to anyone. Now, if you register by email, you can watch. A transcript September 6th will be available afterwards. All right, now I would take that with a heavy grain of salt. When? I would say watch for it way down the line when things aren't relevant anymore. Just like they don't drop the information about Bootland, etc., until after all the interviews with everybody's been conducted, pretty much. The MCC interviews, and that's why Cromwell was pissed. He's like, well, I think it was Cromwell. Why you give us the information after the fact? Of course, they keep doing this over and over. Patriotic and media are surprised. I don't understand how they can be, frankly. They're part of that machine to an extent, but how can you be surprised? This is over and over and over. The Twitter line, like I said, on to response to Heidi. Here, I quoted her tweet, and I said, I don't even know where the fuck. Initially, asked Justice Cromwell how much DOJ is screwing all Canadians in their quest to hide information. Asked Zita Astravas. The Fixer. Asked Quintet about the wellness study. Let's not forget about Janice Gray and John Robbins' Dr. Matt Logan. H Strong 2 Issues Management Team, IMT. Liaison to MCC, Hoyt ESDC Investigations, all of it. Liaison. Married to, all under one roof, Janice Gray. Quote, solid line to, dotted line to Leather. Well, she doesn't say Leather, but that's what she's saying. Solid line to Brennan. Solid line to Ottawa. Farming, getting it all ready. Issues management. Liaison, fixing. Come on. Ask Assistant Butcher. Husband, Mike Butcher. Bergerman's husband, who was acting as, quote, disclosure analyst. The rabbit hole is deep on this one. And it is. It is. Too bad. So many of those videos are gone. Even though in the press, it refers to the fact that I've been talking about it for days. So obviously the videos were there. But it's specific about that. I think that's the moratorium. Actually, no, there's records of the car too. They've been working hard. That war room, like I said, was working right away. And that's, I was saying the war room right away. August 6th, or whatever the fuck that video was, 2020. I'm just reiterating the same stuff. War room, IMT, covering their balls all over the place. What are we going to do here? We're really screwed. We know about what's going on with the Bootland stuff. And it's not just Bootland. They're using Bootland. Sadly. Very sad. Glenn, morning or afternoon or evening. I don't know where you are. Nova Scotia. I think Glenn's down this neck of the woods, isn't he? All right. So let's go back. Decision regarding Rule 43 on behalf of Greg Wylie. This means that the members of the public and media are not permitted to publish, broadcast, or share of the media or you recordings or audio or of the audio or video of September 6th. This includes, I like that. You follow? Seems kind of pointed. Live streaming. Any breach of this commission order could result in a charge pursuant to Section 127 of the Criminal Code. Okay. Section 127. Everyone who, without lawful excuse, disobeys a lawful order made by a court of justice, that's the way I'm kind of used to things, or by a person or body, persons authorized by any act. Okay, so I guess this is where they're going underneath. I don't know the true legal validity to this one, but, they're throwing it out there to make any, given that order payment history money is guilty of expressly an indictable offense liable to imprisonment up not a term not exceeding 2 years or an offense punishable by summary conviction. Interesting. I think that probably got revised under, where's that somewhere? I've got a binder, a large binder of criminal code revisions that were made by Mr. Trudeau once upon a time. So the Attorney General may act where the order referred to in subsection 1 in the proceedings instituted in the instance the government of Canada. See, now this is I really, again, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know. This is all very it has to be legally interpreted. Conducted on the behalf of the government, any proceedings in respect to the contravention or of conspiracy to contravene that order may be instituted and conducted in a like manner. But they're not only are they muzzling you, me from streaming. Seems rather direct. given the fact that I've been live streaming everything. They're muzzling the media. To protect what? Again? I'm sure he wants honesty and the truth to come out, doesn't he? Constable Wylie. Decision regarding rule application. I should link this stuff, by the way. Copy. There is the criminal code. Again, not a lawyer, so please do never follow anything that I say in respect to this stuff. So any lawyer who says you would have to personally have them. Anybody who gives legal advice over YouTube is, as lawyers, not going to be. Now, anyway, okay, so there's the third one. Decision regarding Rule 42. Sorry. Yes, so there were specific witnesses that requested. How many were there? We know that Colford was one. You can kind of get the inferences. There were 7, I think, that made, which I find very interesting. Who are the ones that they're trying to hide? I still haven't figured out quite. O'Brien, Rehill, okay, and Carroll were granted it. Colford was another one. Wylie is another one. I believe that they said that there were 7 that had made applications. Curious as to the other ones. Let's read verbatim. This is the advice that they want you to follow. Decision regarding Rule 43 application on behalf of Constable Wylie, September 2nd. The mass casualty received an application pursuant to Rule 43 from the Attorney General, Department of Justice, DOJ. Lily? Don't know. Those things may yet come. Rule 43, Commission's rules and practices of procedure. Rules for something that's not technically an inquiry, never was, ever. Was some special concoction Blair and Co. had up their sleeve. We'll do the review and then we'll repackage it. In a few days, we'll pull it out when you get pissed. Ugh. Remember the history? If your special arrangements are desired by the witness in order to facilitate their testimony, a request for accommodation must be made to the Commission sufficiently in advance. When was the application? Scheduled to appearance to reasonably facilitate such requests. While the Commission will be reasonable in efforts making to accommodate such requests, the Commission retain the ultimate discretion as to whether and to what extent such requests will be accommodated. The Commission's process for addressing the applications pursuant to Rule 43, dated May 24th, that's this other one, the other link that I stuck in there, okay, available here. With regard to Constable Wylie, participants were given the opportunity to provide submissions about the accommodation recommended by the Commission Counsel. That's who made that choice. The Commission Counsel, of course, who is seeking the truth. They said, no, please bury it. Which was Constable Wylie provide as evidence in a sworn affidavit After reviewing these submissions, we directed that the subpoena be issued, requiring Wylie to provide testimony September 6th, 1 p.m. All proceedings virtually September 6th, reasons unrelated to the application. So Constable Wylie and anyone attending the proceedings do so by Zoom. It's all data tracking too. All data tracking. Trust me. That's why you have to register. So Constable Wylie and anyone attending the proceedings will do so by Zoom. Constable Wylie, like all witnesses, will be given his evidence under oath. Constable Wylie will first be questioned by the commission, the same ones who apparently wanted to do a sworn affidavit. Before I move on from that, there is something, I would say, within the Mass Casualty Commission, you got two forces at work. You got one that wants to bury, and one that is seeking truth. One that I would say is compromised, and the other part that is pushing. And this is why you have this back and forth. And they know that they're walking a very, very fine line, because people will get upset. If there was just a subpoena, which says something very encouraging to you, to me, and to other Canadians who are following this and will follow it, and there are going to be more. It's very encouraging. I heard somebody just very discouraged the other day, and they said, listen, nobody's paying attention, nobody cares. And I said, listen, if they didn't care, why the fuck do you think that they would keep doing this? Why do you think that they are giving you, trying to give you some? And Cromwell, reading his letters, I have a lot of admiration for this guy. Supreme Court Justice. No dum-dum. That is for sure. No offense, sir. Champion of the Order of Canada. He's political. He's got some political stuff there for sure, but it seems to be coming from both lanes, even though I'm not a fan of any of the politics. Raw. But, it's like the judge from what was that review I used to play, or the inquiry, the Dunphy inquiry. I like that old justice. He's smart. He speaks a little bit in riddles, which is typical lawyer. Dead man tell no tales. But he pushed, and he got, truth out there. Whether people wanted to listen to it, I don't know. But, the process continues. More people care. More people become awake. And I like people who really do make efforts. And I feel like there are some people. Miss Young, I feel, is also another one who's looking. Not part of the goop. Not part of the war room crap. Leafy nonsense. Justice Cromwell. Good. Okay. Constable Wylie will first be questioned by Commission Counsel, and then after caucus, hopefully Miss Young. And any remaining questions may be asked by participant counsel in normal course. Wylie's evidence will be part of public proceedings, meaning participants and the media public can attend. In order to receive the best information possible from Wylie, we have directed that Constable Wylie's testimony not be webcast. Why would that impact stuff? I can't tell you. Because I'm, out in the open versus on a Zoom where people have registered, where we all know their details. You feel that they're all compromised? I think there's a couple in there. Those letters from Cromwell really seem, unless that's all a ruse, but I frankly don't think so. Plus some of the questioning I've witnessed. Pursuant to Rule 8, the Commission's Rules and Procedures, orders that audio and video testimony of shall not be Disseminated means sent around, spread in any way, released or shared, and video, audio and video recorded for the purpose of being disseminated, released, published, or shared. Okay, so I'm not saying that you, again, that's open to interpretation. Always law is. I don't see in there that you can't necessarily have something for your own records, but I don't know. I'm not saying that at all. But it seems to be if you spread, if you release, if you publish or share. Don't know about commenting on it either. That one seems to be a bit of a gray area also. Hello, Tracy. Invasion. Not sure. Please never heed anything that I'm saying in terms of legal. Never. And never heed anybody unless you've retained them personally so that you can go back on them. Bar insurance. Any breach of this order of the commission. So somebody has said that they have the legal authority to grant this. I don't know, grant criminal charges against somebody who may break this one by an order, from a commission, from an omission, from a sham. So it's all very, very, very questionable to me. Could result in a charge pursuant to 127. You've got to pull out sticks. Got to pull out the sticks. Participants and accredited media will be provided the Zoom link to attend proceedings. Any member of the public who wishes to attend may do so by sending an email. We want to know who you are. Trace your IP. We'll figure out who the fuck you are. We'll use that stingray on your phone if you phone in by calling the 1-877 3854 and that ODIT technology. Right? Ones that they're having all kinds of problems in Parliament, RCMP. They want to know everything about who knows what and who cares and who has a problem or who has questions. Questions. See, if you have a question, that makes you a serious problem. Who dreamt this garbage up down in the war room? And when was it dreamt up, Billy boy? All right. More than the penalty of buying and supplying ammo. Yeah. Great point. That's just a nothing burger. But we'll threaten to charge you criminally because you're a bad person. Because this is a public inquiry. It's so public that not even the media can talk about it. Gag orders everywhere. But they have left room someday, somewhere down the line, and it will be a while, I suspect. They will put out, supposedly, a transcript, to which would be very interesting if somebody were to compare said transcript to audio, say participants. Take note. if there were editing going on. That would be unfortunate. You gag? All for a dead man. Really? Really now. Bootland. Bootland's just a piece. They will turn the tables, like I said. August 2020. They will turn the tables. Use it to kind of do something else. Oh, see, we were dealing with all these guns and reports of guns and feminine violence and all of this stuff. Meanwhile, you had Bootland, which you fucking seemed to. Let's read the article again, because I think my prediction on that one may have been correct also. May have been. Not to be a cocky asshole, because that's not that way. No. At least I don't think so. Where did I have that here? Not tactfully sound. Really now? Remember when I was reading this article? And you'll go back and you'll find me reading this article many times. I don't know which videos they've left. Court documents contradict RCMP denial that they ignored Susie Bootland's pleas that before she was murdered. Okay, I'm going to spin off into some other stuff here, so bear with me. Stuff that lots of you know, but I got a little bit more maybe. Or built upon that. Possibly. I don't know. Bootland's allegations against Dugan menace to society and sent her on her way. This poor lady, and you can backdate it. You can go months back and you can see, and we can, and I'm certainly going to start working on the timeline because we're talking about months where this was an issue. Susie Bootland and Junior Dugan. No idea why. Frankly, I don't know. But there is something that instigated it. But the horror show that this poor lady lived through and the responses by the RCMP constantly by certain individuals that we know of. Before publication, examiner requested a comment to RCMP withhold the publication. We agreed to withhold publication for 4 days. You see, June 2020, I believe this is. You see how they're shitting their pants already back then? They knew this was going to come. 2 days later, we received a statement. I can confirm members of the Colchester RCMP met members. No. A member, unknown, met with Susie Bootland September 14th, 2017, in person to Colchester District RCMP, subsequent telephone conversation September 15th. The purpose of the meeting subsequent to the conversation discussed the progress that was being made by the RCMP investigating the following complaint that she made in August. But you can go back further, I believe. But you're already at a month. I believe it's June. With reference to his notes from those dates, mail, which were on file, the RCMP officer advised that during the in-person meeting 14th, Bootland was content. And it was amicable conversation that he had. Advised the process of the phone conversation. Bootland was somewhat upset. Somewhat. You see what they're doing? The fucking goo. Amicable, somewhat upset. However, he clarified some points in the in-person meeting the previous day. Call ended satisfied. Satisfied, somewhat upset, amicable. Garbage speak. Amicable conversation. Does it sound amicable? No, not amicable at all. Not according to her friend. No. Not at all. RCMP did not tell Bootland that she was a menace to society. Oh. Or tell her to mind her own, quote, mind her own business. The allegation of sexual assault made to RCMP August 7, 2017, related to an incident that occurred in July 2nd. An incident. There you go again. Downplay. Just an incident. You heard the incident one anywhere? An event? An incident? You see? Nothing's happening. Don't worry. 23 lives gone. Thousands of lives destroyed. Well, it's just an event. Really, is it? Don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining, please. That occurred July 2nd. We have between August 7th and September 17th, we have phone records of conversations. Good, because those will be nice to see. Between Bootland and the police, August 7th, followed by an in-person visit by unknown persons, to Bootland's home. Same day, RCMP spoke to her on the phone. September 12th, an in-person meeting. September 14th, and then phone call. Seems very amicable. I'm thinking it seems cleared up right away, but it just keeps going for months. Seems like you've dealt with the situation well. Linda. Donna. Hello, Mr. Moneypenny. In short, RCMP denied that any officer told Bootland she was menace allegations against Dugan. We immediately updated our article with denial. Since then, the Examiner has obtained victim impact statements. Okay, and these things are horrific. They're really sad. I'm going to link the article once again. Very sad indeed. More lives just permanently damaged. But it's an incident. It's nothing to see here. The machine keeps rolling till it rolls over them. And then it becomes a problem. Just ask all the members. Because they're out there. You know why? Because I know. You got a lot of people who are really upset with how you fucked them. They tried. You didn't care. Agreed statement of fact. Agreed statements of fact. Agreed statement of fact. This means both parties stipulate to it. Both the Crown, Attorney General, DOJ. They stipulate to it. Yeah, no problem here. Also, damning details raise questions why the police did not act in a myriad of red flags. Okay, we're bringing out the red flags. Raised by Summer of Dugan's behaviors. That Summer, this is real ongoing problem. Going on for a while because it was so amicable. The RCMP handled it so well. That's why they didn't want to answer. By Dugan's behaviors or the warnings, they were given by both Bootland and Dugan's wife. Okay, we'll go into that one. Agreed statement of facts. Here's the agreed statement of facts. This is what the Crown says. Yep, not an issue. Not an issue. You have an agreed statement of facts. There seems to be, in a roundabout way, a couple of them around that I'm having real problems with in terms of Nova Scotia. But anyway, it's not an agreed statement of fact, but I'm like, when I was talking with my lawyers, I'm like, why would you bother questioning this? If you say that the first victim and it was an assault victim, April 18th, and that it was Lisa, and that she came out of the woods at 6:30, and you as the parties that are suing say that these are the facts, then why would you ever bother questioning them? That's a problem. Oh, yeah, it's not an agreed statement of fact because that's a separate document. But lawyers were like, yeah, well, seems like, why would you question that? Brought home 2 firearms. Dugan brought home 2 firearms along with a bag full of ammunition and showed them to his wife. The firearms were 12 gauge, blah, 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 308. The bag showed them to his wife. Okay? The bag can also contain ammunition. Sound familiar? The accused, Dugan, told her that they had found he found them. Oh, just, under that rock. These firearms in Colchester County. These firearms, along with several other firearms, had been stolen from a residence. They were agreeing, stolen from a residence in the community August 10th, 2017. What residence? I remember something about break and enters and things like that. We're going to find that it comes from a certain person's house? I don't know. Just saying, that's possible. Could it have come from 200? Who knows? In the community August 10th, 2017, by someone other than the accused. Ms. Dugan formed the belief that Mr. Dugan was under the influence of some, both drugs and alcohol. Formed the belief. He's trashed for like 2 days, I believe. It's 911 threats, okay, and Ms. Dugan, not Susie Bootland, no, Junior's wife, Ms. Dugan, became increasingly alarmed by her husband's behavior that evening and requested some assistance for a family friend to help calm him down. She locked the accused out of the residence. Well, it's just that belief thing, I think you're kind of intoxicated. I'll just kind of lock you out of the house. And please get over here and help me. Maybe, oh dear. Accused neighbor might be their neighbor's concern. Shortly afterward, the accused kicked in the door. This seems rational, amicable. The incident to their residence. After the accused gained entry to the residence, Ms. Dugan and a family friend fled the residence and drove away. Fled. Ran away. Ouch. That just does nothing to see here. According to the statement of fact, agreed, the RCMP responded to 911 call, went to the residence, spoke with Dugan. However, they appear more concerned with the well-being, with his well-being. Who's concerned? Who's concerned with his well-being? The RCMP. Then they were about his wife's, that he might kill Bootland. They noted might have been that he had been drinking and appeared to be intoxicated, kicking those doors in and such with those bags of guns. They spoke to him about the problems, tried to reassure him. They're there. That legal jeopardy related to the peace bond application was minimal. and did not constitute a criminal offense. The officers left the property after warning the accused not to drink and drive, since he had, or sorry, not to drink and drive, basically. Okay. Now, I said in the video the other day, whoa, you're adding fuel to the fire on the article. And there you are. They're ramping him up. They're allowing him to run crazy. Don't worry. You don't have to worry about anything. Just don't drive. You know, you're kicking indoors. That's okay. Just don't drive. Don't do that. And it's in the video that I did, whatever, a few days ago. Thursday? Was it Thursday when I was reading through that at the end of the... In there, I said, fuel to the fire. You're adding fuel. You're adding fuel. CBC, where's the CBC? Open on another tab. Now I'm not finding the article. Okay, this is making me upset. So what they did, perhaps I should just go back to the video and play it, where I'm reading through and I say, the fuel to the fire, because you know that you're going to dismiss the charges that apparently against him, they weren't going to do anything, but they didn't tell him. So did you ramp him up more? Did you get him more excited? Did you say, you know, like, listen, dude, you're still under investigation right now. That neighbor of yours, yeah, you're still under investigation. Wylie, McDonald, Bissell. Did you ramp him up more? Let's go out on a limb. Maybe he got more excited. Maybe he went. Look familiar? Is it the same person? Is that the same person? Let me know what you think. You'd say so? Okay, let's look at something else. Same right here. I have to be careful because doxing people says, no, can't do that. I don't want to do that. I'm not into that. I remember the War Room Goop. I had to shut down one of my videos before talking about the Facebook pages. Let's see here. What happened? No. Oh, there's Brian Brennan. He's going to be coming up. over here. Is that somebody? Same person or identical twin? Don't know. Just throwing it out there. Where's that post? Give me a moment. Oh, there's a lot of pictures. I think it's okay to use one because it's somewhere else. Wow. No. What the fuck was that? I have it open on another page. One moment. No. Where is it? Okay. Let me get this to open. I don't use Facebook, so I don't really know. Okay. Come on. Familiar? Maybe? Where's the post, though? Give me a second. No. I need to read to you. I have to be. Where is it? Oh, fuck. It sends me back here. Jesus. Grrr. I hate Facebook, and I don't know how to use it. Maybe this is the way to do it. How do you guys use this thing? It's wretched. Why? I don't understand. Okay, I want to read you this post. Congratulations to the Sarnaraj Nunavut Detachment, whose members helped deliver hockey equipment "25 deserving youth received through the National Hockey League Players Association." Okay? Sarnaraj Nunavut. Sarnaraj Nunavut. Okay? That's this picture. Sarnaraj Nunavut. Here. Same person? Same person? Here? Sarnaraj Nunavut, I don't think is a very big town. Let's go to a statement. When did you go to Bible Hill? Or sorry, when did you go to Nunavut? I went in September 2020. Says Rodney McDonald. Where did you go? I always wanted to go north. Let's see here. You told us that you've been transferred to Nunavut? Yes. Was that a voluntary thing? Yeah. Yeah. And that is, did you have anything to do with April 18? Does it have anything to do with April 18 or 19? It didn't. It did not? No. I always wanted to go north, and I started the ball rolling. My buddy Rob Daly, who was transferred out of Bible Hill 6 months ago, before Portapique, he went to Igloolik. Pardon my pronounce Igloolik. Igloolik. I'm sorry, I can't. This stuff. You guys know me. And he's been there for been after me many years. He'd been up in the north before. He says, "You'd love it up here. It's a good way to, pack the pocketbook before you retire." So I went, And I did convince Aaron Patent to go, and Aaron Patent went to Igloo as well to go work with Rob Daly. And I went in to work in the neighboring detachment of Sarnajuk. 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 Who's this? She wouldn't be Ms. Dugan, would she? She wouldn't be living up north in Sarnajuk, would she? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But those of you who know more, and I can't do because I have to respect that. That's there are certain rules apparently regarding some of that, so I can't show you. I can't show you. But what I can tell you is it appears to be Ms. Dugan. Former. Was Rodney McDonald involved? Was Wylie involved with that pesky Bootland thing? Back when maybe Ms. Dugan was with, unless the page is fake, which I find difficult to believe. Seems to be a lot of up north stuff. A lot of posts from Sarnajuk. I can't say anything. If somebody says something in the comments, that's not, I don't know what to do about that. And I certainly implore people not to do anything, and please listen to me very carefully, like firing off messages or doing things like that. That would not be good. But it leaves a lot of questions open, doesn't it? You get somebody ramped up, potentially. You don't do anything about it, and then maybe you subsequently have a relationship. Was that, when did that start? Is that a code of conduct issue? Like dispatching other members. Is that a code of conduct issue? Oh, that's right. You know that it was Dorrington and Lafferty dispatched by McDonald, who got a phone call from Amherst at 10 o'clock or 10:15. Strange, from Sergeant Joby, who self-dispatched subsequently the three amigos. I think there was some mention of that, perhaps in your interview about the code of conduct problem. There. Is this one also a code of conduct? I think maybe. Maybe. I don't know. Seems the perception is not very good that you're involved with the case. Wylie's involved with the case of Bootland. Dugan goes to jail, and then, if that information is correct, you end up with his ex, the one who fled, the one who informed you about the guns. Oh, that looks not so good, I would say. So, I also had a few other issues. Because that's a lot of stuff. And lawyers better ask. Wylie and McDonald and Stu Baselt about what happened with Bootland. And possible improprieties. Possible. Don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's fine. I heard that there's certainly some questions about that one. Okay. Hopefully, can we read Wylie's statement? Where? Hold on a moment. Unless there's something I've missed. Yes, we can. Why don't you let me read that? When did that come out? Why did I miss it? Why did I miss all this? Is this recently dropped? What did you think? What was your read? Wylie, Wylie transfer. Hold on a moment. Yes, where did he go up north too? He certainly should be asked, because I believe he was the lead investigator. Is that correct? The lead investigator on the Dugan? I know Rodney McDonald went next door to console April Dugan. Then April Dugan. Okay, maybe that one should be revisited, but if you can put your thoughts, where was he transferred? He leaves Nova Scotia, comes back, and then leaves. Interesting. Yeah, it certainly looks that way. It looks that way. Again, I'm just giving what seems to come out. I archived them. Those old photos, those pesky old photos. All right. I want to touch on this one because this one kind of bothered me. I've always had some questions about the dog. You know, I obviously have a heart. I have a miniature pinscher. In fact, this is my second one. I had to put my poor old guy down. There you are, sleeping with your toy. Yeah. You want to come up here? No? Anyway. Work in Toronto Airport Detachment as of June 2021. Wylie was put as leading investigator. See, there's so many questions in there that all opens up, and they should be explored thoroughly. Okay. Dog. So my initial reading of stuff was dog. Let's listen to certain things here. I'm going to play a couple of different ones here. Where was that? Shoot. Milton Mills. Trying to remember. Let's start with the statement. Let's start with the statement because that seems problematic because I missed it. In the same interview with Roger Burrell, there is a conflict. The dog. We'll go back to that one because that's the conflict. Yeah. All right. Tell me about the injured dog incident. Oh, yeah. So, Craig, oh my gosh, Hubley. Yes, thank you. Hubley's the dog man. This is Rodney McDonald's statement with Roger Burrell. He had to try to rescue the dog that had been shot. That was little thing. The last thing the kids had, the two parents who had been shot and killed. The dog that had been injured to its back end and trying to rescue it. Members had seen the dog earlier in the night. I think it was about 4:00. And it was even earlier than that. It was on the stairs with the house with the kids. It was scared then. 4:00, it's shot. Seen shot, and then it's being dealt with quite a bit later. But what time is it being dealt with? I'm going to. I will. Not today. Maybe tomorrow. Let me just deal with the dog one here for now. And the dog had taken off. So I have a friend here, a vet here in town, Jen McKay. Okay, so that's the one that does the interview, right? I think I could play that, but feel good story, but very good. But I was always like, something about this story's not feeling right. I said, Jen, if we can get the dog, but help me straighten this out. If we can get a dog out of this, we're dealing with a bad situation here. You'd be interested in going in and working and looking after the dog, Jen McKay, the friend. And she said, absolutely. You just let me know. So was a bit of time after that, I'm saying, I don't know, I'm terrible with times. I'm terrible with times that Hughley emerged with the dog wrapped in the blanket. And he handed it to Nathan Forrest. And Nathan was in the passenger seat with me. We headed for the fire hall with plans to simply hand the dog off to the firefighters. And they would proceed by taking the dog down to the vet, and we would return to our position at the head of Portapique Beach Road. All right, so then let's look at, you have to get the time frame, right? Deer. I want to go back to that other one. I have to make note of the page. Page 51. Okay. Deer. And Nate's a quiet fellow, anything full vest, body armor, and a dog sitting on his lap. If there could be a light moment out of the whole situation, of course, I hear him say, "Deer, deer, deer." By the time I was understanding, the deer's going into my bumper, ripping the front fender. It smashed it to hell out of the car. Smashed out of the hell out of the car. I thought we were going to have an airbag deployment, like we were sifting and to try to get to the fire hall so we could get back to our position at the head of Portapique Beach Road. And anyway, I said, Nate, or he said, am I allowed to, you're allowed to say what was said, of course. Well, he just said, that was a holy fuck situation. And I said, it would have been a holy fuck situation if the airbag had gone off. You would have been eating that chihuahua. Okay. Everybody always thinks they're chihuahuas. I don't know why. Is what would have happened. So we continued down to the fire hall. We got to the fire hall, and of course, there was a uniformed member there with a ball cap holding his carbine, guarding the door, the fire hall, and you could see, pay attention to our PC coming up, smoking, coming out of the front passenger side wheel. And we pull up to the parking lot. Nathan handed the dog over to the fire department. I ran to the command post and was directed where it was because I hadn't been there yet. Upstairs. I got to the top of the steps. I was told definitely Holiday was there. Definitely Staff Sergeant Carroll. Most definitely Andy O'Brien. And I said, Andy, I just smashed your police car and hit a deer. At the same time, and I said that, the radio went off and the dispatch said, Cumberland County, there's a possible homicide in Wentworth where a woman just watched her best friend. Okay, never read that anywhere. Heard a loud bang. Her best friend is laying on the ground, and a police car was seen leaving the scene. Okay, so you have a lot of things that happen there very quickly. Picking up the dog, hitting a deer, going to the fire hall, the car's trashed, apparently, 05B8 at that, 05B11, pardon me, 05B11, and you have Lillian. Now, GPS on the car, interestingly enough, doesn't show the car really slowing down. There's a small section. Not the way who have hit a deer, sadly, tragically. That's not the way it really works. Instinct. Maybe they learn that. I don't know. Hit a deer and just keep trucking. But anyway, You have a time frame now, 9:30-ish, right? 9:40 was when the call came over the radio about Lily. Okay. GPS does kind of seem to match with this stuff. It's very quick, by the way. Now, let's go back to page 51. $9:30, right? So you were there for hours? Oh, yeah. Only 2 pages prior. I was there all day. Well, after daylight, and I want to say it was somewhere around 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, that they brought out Wortman's girlfriend. And then it would have been probably an hour after that that they brought the dog out that was injured. And that's when I got involved, taking the dog to the fire hall, smashing the police vehicle on the way. Six plus 1 is 7. Not 9:30. Not 9:07. 9:04, I believe, Burrell and Hubley in his mass casualty presentation, which I do have somewhere here lined up, but which one it is, I don't. Andy O'Brien. So in the same statement, 2 pages prior, I see something that represents a contradiction. Do you? Either the dog is getting taken out at about 7 o'clock, roughly, or it's being taken out at about 9:07, I think 9:04. Can't remember quite the time. I do have the clip where he's talking about it. So isn't that odd that Mr. Burrell, who heard this, didn't say anything? Rodney McDonald, I believe, has to go to the bathroom after the second time talking about it. Okay. Yet it's never asked about. Why is that contradicting? Ah, right, Mills. Okay, so let's see if I can find that. Mills. I want to do that one too. Bear with me, because there's other stuff that's tied to this.
I think the guy was dog Sprock. I just meet him at the beach then.
Let's see here. Okay. Oh, dog. Mills, right?
Dog services, PDS. It may include the underwater recovery team. Dog handlers. Dog was evacuated by Constable Hubley to Fortific Beach Road number 2. And as we go through the facts, it has become the Blair dog was evacuated by Constable Hubley to Fortific Beach Road number 2. And as we go through the facts, it has the Blair dog was evacuated by Constable Hubley to Fortific Beach Road number 2. And as we go through the facts, it has become amazing to me how important the fact that was for everybody involved. At 9:26, Richard Ellison was
So how does that align, Mr. Burrow, who asked the questions, funnily enough, with this? It certainly doesn't seem to align. Even though you've got in the same statement conflicting information. Okay, why is this important, do you say? By the way, there's quite a few people who have different stories. Let's look at Rodney McDonald with Lisa. When Wortman's girlfriend was rescued out of the woods the following morning, we were supposed to drive her to the fire hall, says Rodney McDonald. But when she came out, she got into another IRT vehicle and we escorted them to the fire hall. So you have possibly the dog and possibly Lisa, possibly at the same time. Possibly. He's with Forrest. He's with Forrest, right? Forrest. Let's have a look at, first we'll start with this one. Mass casualty. This is his typed note. Typed whatever, member report. Goop. Approximately 5:30 in the morning, Forrest seen that checkpoints. Forrest was teamed up with McDonald, who had already on scene. Both members had carbines. RCMP IRT on scene. A little while later, members shooting, driving marked cruiser, 28B11, dressed like officer, approximately 9:30. Constable Forrest and McDonald transported dog to the command center. Grey Village Fire Hall. While at the command center, members hit and smashed 05B11. The injured dog was handed off to the fire department 1 moments later. Well, I'm noticing the Wentworth. Okay. I'm noticing something missing. We were supposed to drive her to the fire hall. But when she came out, she got into another IRT vehicle and we escorted them to the fire hall. Lisa. But for some reason, that seems to elude Forrest's memory. Rather an important event. Well, maybe it's nothing. Maybe. Where are we here? Let's try girlfriend. No. Let's try escort. Let's try goods. No. He doesn't mention her. That's awfully strange. In his mass casualty interview, he's not asked about it. There's no mention of Lisa, the escorting, nothing. Zip. Zip. Burl certainly knows that there's a conflict. Wonder why he's gone. I've been wondering that one for a while. Where'd you disappear to? With your legal aid awards and such. Now you're not there anymore. Kind of went on permanent vacation. Did it get to you? Do you know what you're doing was wrong? Did you have questions? Is it time to come out and maybe say that? That would be the right thing. Kind of an important event to forget. Not one, two places, and not even asked. Okay. Gibson. Let's look at Gibson. Bear with me. I'm just going to keep giving you the evidence. You make up your own mind. The evidence is what is important. So, why do I have two of these? Gibson he has two things. He recently put up this is his statement, his member statement. Gibson woke up in the morning, 7 o'clock, saw that he had several missed calls, texts from friends, co-workers concerned about Gibson's well-being, and members who were on the scene advising that what had taken place in Portapique that night before. Gibson arrived at the Enfield detachment, spoke to Constable Stevenson, who was reviewing information from the events the night before. Gibson, Stevenson, Morrison, and Como, this is down in Enfield, spent the next hour carefully looking through Jean, Okay. Moving ahead, Gibson called McEachran, who was working nights in Enfield, April 18th. And he goes on and he talks about other things, about what happened that day. Okay, but there's something else that came out. These pesky labor investigation interviews started to come out now. Let's start off. What happened that morning? So, myself, Heidi, Gibson, again. Como, Chad Morrison, scheduled to work. Myself, Heidi, we're on call. Shift starts at 7. By the way, I like the 3 o'clock till 7 o'clock call. That's nice. Service with a smile. I usually get up 6 and I'm ready to go. When I checked my phone. A lot of missed text messages, phone calls from friends, family asking if I was okay. What were things going on like that? I was very confused. One point, there was a text message from Constable Chris McCracken, who I work with. Okay, that was the call that he referred to. He was working night shifts before, and he said, call me when you get this. So I did. And he filled me in, and basically he was working the night before in the active shooter situation. There was an active shooter situation in Portapique, and he responded to East Hants, go help out wherever he could. He's basically on the outer skirts of the hot zone in Portapique, just kind of doing traffic control. Been relieved on the way home. So I got dressed, went into the office. Heidi and I were talking about what was going on. And it was this. This is crazy. The things of that nature. Still wasn't clear exactly what was going on. It was just because that there was an active shooter. Things had gone quiet. Because I worked in Colchester and Bible Hill, specifically for almost 7 years prior to my service in Enfield. Oh, okay. And I'm friends with a lot of the guys and girls who still work there. Oh, okay. So because of rotation, I know who I am to match up with. When I work in Enfield, I know who's working in Colchester. So I text Adam Merchant, Aaron Patton, and Rodney McDonald. Missing in his member notes, but that's member report typed. No. Just being like, are you guys okay? I know you're busy. Just send me a number or a letter. Let me know that you're okay, because your mind is just going to bad places. And Rodney called me. Oh, Rodney called him. He was very upset. He's like, it's chaos up here, man. It's I've never had anything like this. He said, all the guys are okay. That's great. Good stuff. Good. Yeah. All right. And there's a lot of dead bodies. And he was actually transporting one of the family dogs to the veterinary office. Get help because the dog had been shot. And he was like, I gotta go. And I'm like, no, I understand completely. Let him go. I passed that information on to Chad and Austin, Heidi and Austin. And the four of us called dispatch, just like his member report said, just like the logs say. We know you guys are overwhelmed, but like, what's going on? There wasn't a whole lot of information at that time. And that would have been around, 7:30. $7:30. Well, after daylight, I want to say, says Rodney McDonald, around 5, 6 in the morning, they brought out Wortman's girlfriend. And it probably would have been an hour that they brought out the dog that was injured. 7. Why is it that Gibson is saying the same thing? And it's not 9:30? Is there more? You believe it. There sure is. Same time, Lisa's coming out. The dog is coming out for the first time. And then 2.5 hours later, it comes out again. How does that work exactly? Let's look at Ivani. My apologies. Let's look at Fahey. Let's go to Fahey.
Yes, and I understand there was some engagement. I don't want to get into details of the circumstances, but you provided some medical assistance to some ERT members with respect to the treatment of a dog, the Blair family dog. Is that right?
Yes, that dog was brought back to us and we just provided some care.
Okay. And then I understand you were there and a Wentworth call emerged.
Yes, we were still staged at that positioning and daylight was breaking, at which point
What time did the dog really come out? Because a lot of things seem to hinge on that. Deer, car, pages of notes on who's driving what. The car, you know, that doesn't have GPS, even though it does. The 05B8 car. We don't have GPS for that car. It starts at 11:36 because that's when we logged in. Bullshit. Because you're all over the logs. I don't know how. Logging in as different people. Apparently. With different radios. Interesting. No GPS, apparently. Burrow was confused with that one, too. He asked about it. But apparently he was just told, oh, Solarino, nothing to see here. We just logged in to Solarino. Is that true? Is that true? Because it's O'Brien? Sorry, O'Brien. It's Colford, O'Brien. Is that right? Colford, O'Brien. Colford, who seems to go off with, get logged into Jameson's car for whatever reason. Solarino. The radios. Where's that? There's the cars. Colford to O'Brien. 912. O'Brien's got the car. O'Brien 912. Then it's Solarino at 949. Then it's O'Brien. Then it's O'Brien. Then it's Solarino. And then it's McDonald. Huh? How are you logging in as different people? Not just one. Logging in as a sergeant? Really? It's quite a task, I would think. The card and all, you know, you need the card. A Wentworth call. Daybreak. McDonald. Statement. So it wasn't until ERT arrived that we really had an influx of members going down evacuation plan. You had lots of members willing to go. And what do you mean by that? Well, I know the members. So after Portapic, a lot of guys came back to my house. a lot of guys came back to my house. And so the following night that we were all in my barn having beers, talking about what happened, and I know that there was a second contact team trying to go in. Who'd that consist of, Rod? Rod, who's not even been authorized by anybody to be there. Rod, who's dispatching people. Rod, who's up north with Miss Bootland. Formal, potential. Who'd that consist of, Rod? Can you remember? That was Bill Neal and Chris Grund. A lot of guys came back to my barn. That was Bill Neal and Chris Grund. Okay. Having little talks. Good. It was a month. It was a full week before we had our first debriefing. A full week. Within a full week, we had our first debriefing at a hotel. It was a full team there represented. So my team went in, as well as Dave Melanson and Terry Brown and a couple of others. And everybody had the ability to tell their side of the story. It was an open forum. It was a great venting. And I had debriefings at the house with my guys. Informal debriefings? Informal. Yeah. But I think that's important. There, there wasn't a dry eye in the garage. And it's not a place that typically cried, unless you lose at a dart game. But the boys that were impacted, we had open conversations about it before the debriefings. The next night. The debriefings that happened the next week. Some people who were there and some people who weren't. Some people who say 7 o'clock. Some people who say 9:30. Is there something there? Blue for yellow. Straight into Fed drug. Almost. Wow. Okay. Where is it? Talking about the domestic violence. The next calls. Early dispatches. So I worked a night shift Saturday. Remember, notes say Dorrington, Lafferty, McDonald notes say about 10:45. Calls for help coming in from Joby to McDonald, who then calls out his guys, who, not his guys, by the way. He refers to them as, it's not his guys. It's Peterson's. Didn't ask. Didn't tell. Let's have a look. So when I arrived at the detachment, I told Stu Basselt, who was acting corporal, to watch who was working, if it was okay if I took a PC home. And so I had a PC sitting in my yard when my phone went off at 10 at night, quarter after 10. It was a good friend of mine, Chris Joby. Sorry? Christopher Joby from Amherst Police Department, who called me. He said, I stood at his wedding. I'm godfather to his kids. He called me and he said, from Amherst PD. And he said, Rod, there's been an active shooter going on down your neck of the woods. Cumberland County just emptied out, heading that way. So I had a conversation, was brief, and I was out the door within minutes. It was more of an informational call as opposed to a directive call. Correct. Yeah. This else out of Bible Hill. Acting in charge. These are my buddies, you know. So it was an entirely voluntary thing on your part. 100%. And the recruit down there was also down there. Yeah, who's that? Patton. Aaron Patton. I was on the shift, so Basselt, Merchant, Patton, and me, they swapped Merchant and I. He got moved to a different team. He liked those teams. He didn't like the team he went to so much. Peterson team. These were two strong teams. I was out of bed. Went because these are my buddies. They're involved in Moncton. But this information is coming from Amherst, from Joby. Amherst Police Department at 10 o'clock, 10:15. Really? Now, almost informationally. I'm kind of surprised. I don't know if I should be. That you would get out of bed after a long shift because you had this information. A discussion with one guy in Amherst? Yeah. But a police car is sitting in the driveway. As soon as I turned the car on, all I heard is the radio going. That's what's happening. And I guess my sense is, how would you have confirmed that information from Joby? The radio, and there was no getting in on the radio, even to log in. Like it was madness. You know what was going over the radio? Why is he getting a phone call right away? Everybody seems to have the cars too, I believe, out of the three amigos. So then he in turn calls, who's not called in, not authorized, doesn't ask his direct superior, doesn't ask the person who is acting in charge that night, doesn't ask anybody. He's like, I got my car at home. I just finished working a long day, and I'm going to call out Lafferty and Dorrington too to come, who also haven't been called out, and he has no authority to call out on any respect. And they have been working a full day, and Dago. And the Dorrington stuff. And Peterson's getting dumped on the next morning. He's like, what? Why are my guys out here? Why are you guys out here? What do you mean my guys are out here? What are you talking about? I don't know anything about it. He wasn't defensive like that, though, because Peterson seems to want to fit in, from my read. So I'm throwing a lot of different things together here, and then there is the call. Let's see, I was looking for that. The first call I make. Wasn't that, maybe this is an easier way to search for it. Rose, out of Bible Hill, recently taken a promotion to Halifax. Anniversary. Because the important. Information. Can't find any evidence of Rose being told by McDonald, apparently, about the car. Mark Rose, one of the best I've worked with. He's switched on Bible Hill formerly, but moved to Halifax, January 2020. He's methodical. He's a good member. And for him, know that something's wrong. And because he's shocked. And the fact that I received a call from him, pretty much on the anniversary in Nunavut. And he says, Rodney McDonald, how are you? Just wanted to let you know, I think a lot about the words you said to me and how I felt. You told me that it was the police car. It was a police car, and it was standing on the back, the hair standing back on the neck. I'll never forget that. I haven't found any evidence that, I guess he must have called him, but he didn't. Here we go. Because one of my first calls after I leave here is going to be Stu Baselt. Stu Baselt and I are working together for a lot of years, and he made some good points over the radio early on and that followed. Perhaps they would have addressed a lot of the issues that you folks are investigating here. Is he saying that he's going to call him when he's done the interview? Why would you need to? Rodney McDonald, Stu Baselt, Robinson, Bible Hill Parade Day. There's a lot of questions that should have been asked that aren't. It's almost like that Dion Sutton talking about driving by a car. And who was that? I can't remember. Just asked next. Maybe it was Wayne Fowler. I'm not sure. Moved into something else. The vest on the dog? Did you put a vest on the dog? Yeah, but I drove by a car that night when I was going down there. You don't ask anything about it. Circling back. Might as well play this one too. Throw it in there. This is totally in a different vein, but might as well throw it out there again. Meeting. There's mention of a meeting. I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
We have statements from a witness named Leon Jodry, and you might or might not recall that he is the person, his home is where Lisa Banfield went and Ert rescued her from. Setting that aside for a moment, though, Mr. Jodry has given
That's a
evidence
fact.
or statements that he was out of his home around 4 a.m., went for a drive down Orchard Beach Drive, and he calls it a SWAT vehicle, but we know it's the TAV, directed him to leave the area, to go to the containment.
But that might be because he has some insider knowledge on that, familial, on what time she was taken in the ambulance. Like Greg Pinio. Brother to Derek Pinio, deceased RCMP, killed in the line of duty. Rob's cousin, Greg's brother.
Point. And I'm wondering, did either of you see a gentleman in a half-ton truck and order him out of the area?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did? Okay. Thank you. It doesn't show up in your handwritten notes, so I know you can't possibly record everything that goes on, so.
Look at Mills.
Yeah, he pulled up.
Look at Mills. Look at Mills. He's got something to say.
Next to our armored vehicle, and he was given instructions to leave the area to the head of Portapique Beach Road and leave the area.
That is correct, but that was after we found Lisa Banfield.
No, that was before.
My recollection
He's chewing
is
his
we
lip.
had evacuated Lisa Banfield out.
He was told after that as well, but it was when you had gone back to the.
So I don't recall that meeting at all.
No, you weren't there. You were
Okay.
back.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Oh. Do you see him shaking his head? He's just like, I'd say Mills is probably a bit of a fiery one. Bit of a fiery one would be my read. Let's listen to that again and watch it, and I won't interrupt. Watch him. Listen to it closely. He wants to say something.
It's the TAV directed him to leave the area, to go to the containment point. And I'm wondering, did either of you see a gentleman in a half-ton truck and order him out of the area?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did? Okay. Thank you. It doesn't show up in your handwritten notes, so I know you can't possibly record everything that goes on, so you did see.
Yeah, he pulled up next to our armored vehicle and he was given instructions to leave the area to the head of Porter Peak Beach Road and leave the area.
That is correct, but that was after we found Lisa Banfield.
No, that was before.
My recollection is we had evacuated Lisa Banfield out.
He was told after that as well, but it was when you had gone back to the
So I
command
don't recall that meeting at all.
No, you weren't there. You were
Okay.
back.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
What is he talking about? I don't recall that meeting at all. You weren't at that meeting. Mills, you're telling. That was after we evacuated Lisa Banfield. You know, the fairy tree Lisa Banfield didn't get cold. Colford, who was cold, dressed for the conditions, had to get in her car and warm up a couple of times because she was freezing. It's in her labor interview. Watch his face. He's leaning in. He's going to get it in. He's going to get it in. I got to say it. And he doesn't walk back. He's just like, I don't recall. Yeah, okay.
Direct you back to Portapic in the early morning hours of April 19th. And we have statements from a witness named Leon Jodry. And you might or might not recall that he is the person, his home is where Lisa Banfield went and Ert rescued her from. Setting that aside for a moment, though, Mr. Jodry.
He's accepting that just as fact. That's just where he was. Really? I don't know if that is 100%. I think there are some questions, but fair enough.
Has given evidence or statements that that he was out of his home around 4 a.m., went for a drive down Orchard Beach Drive, and he calls it a SWAT vehicle, but we know it's the TAV, directed him to leave the area, to go to the containment point. And I'm wondering, did either of you see a gentleman in a half-ton truck and order him out of the area?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did? Okay. Thank you. It doesn't show up in your handwritten notes, so I know you can't possibly record everything that goes on. So
Look at his face.
you did see.
Look at his face.
Yeah, he pulled up next to our armored vehicle and he was given instructions to leave the area to the head of Porter Peak Beach Road and leave the area.
That is correct, but that was after we found Lisa Banfield.
No, that was before.
My recollection is we had evacuated Lisa Banfield out.
He was told after that as well, but it was when you had gone back to the
So I
command
don't recall that meeting at all.
No, you weren't there. You were
Okay.
back.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Wow. All I can say is wow. He wasn't like, oh yeah, I was wrong. He just kept going. No, I don't recall. That's not my recollection. No, that's not what I remember. Okay. Whatever. We all know the tree thing doesn't make any sense. Now you got the dog thing. What the fuck is going on? And you got Wylie that's getting buried. And nobody's asking questions. Yes. Mills, I think, would know. We don't have any notes of any of that. But that's just what happened. That's just what happened. That's what happened. We don't have any notes of it, but that's what happened. We all know. Sounds like Burl. We know. You'll be pleased to know, says Burl. You'll be pleased to know. We're almost done here. No, you haven't even started. You didn't even do your job. And you knew it. I don't know how I don't know where you were during that conversation. I really don't know. Woods. Rodney seems to remember it, escorting. Forrest doesn't, even though he was in the car. Times 2. Woods. Five, 6 o'clock, and the dog came out an hour later. And then in the same interview, you're also saying it's like 9:30. Which is it? And Burl can't even pick that up. 2 pages later, he says it almost literally back to back, and then he goes to the bathroom. I know I'm throwing a lot of things, but they do so together. The GPS on the car, the GPS which just suddenly disappears, the GPS, the log on 05B11 which says that the car is totaled, and yet there are people on the radio, people in authority at 12 o'clock when it appears to be going to the Bible Hill detachment, totaled with the fender in the tire. The car that didn't slow down as it hit a deer. The best friend who got hit on the highway. Jen McKay. Take the dog in. What time? I'm dropping a ton of inconsistencies here. Wylie, McDonald, involved in the investigation. August 24th. Oh, you're going to see the same names. You're going to see the same names. Huh? What? What the fuck is going on? Well, I think it's fairly, I've got some fairly strong evidence to lead to certain things here. Was unilaterally decided that it was irrelevant, said Cox. Irrelevant to the work of the commission. Really? But they pushed back. Had destroyed information they deemed irrelevant moratorium. What's going on? Constable Stuart Bassell, one of the first officers of the scene, fields the question, mass casualty inquiry during his testimony. Bootland Review, all same names, you're going to see them, said that Baselt responded to the incident to the Dugan home. This Baselt went next door, or went to the Dugan home with Constable Rodney McDonald. You know, up there in the northwest, in Nunavut, in Sarjak or wherever, I can't pronounce. McDonald left to speak with Dugan. See if he follow up. Did he have a firearm? No follow up. Is this again? Weird. Keeps happening. He's sitting around, he's drunk with guns. He seems assaultive to women. Police aren't doing really anything, going to the house. Oh, I've heard this somewhere. It's so odd. I don't know. Another officer in the Bootland case, Constable Greg Wylie, who now you can't even see without going to jail if I share it. If you share it. If the media shares it. And sometime, maybe because they feel like it's irrelevant, really, probably, over the MCC, they'll share a transcript with you. Sometime. Sexual assault complaint. That was the initial one. So back June, July. Ouch, 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 ouch. Should have been taken seriously. You know, kind of. I heard this one before too. Because what did they do? What did they do? They're going to turn the tables on this one. You watch. They're going to turn the tables. August 6th, 2020. Listen closely. I'm not giving you bullshit. Interesting also to see, this on a side note somebody sent me, thank you. Interesting that it appears over in the fucking UK. It's kind of like, what was that? In an interview with Global. They knew about it over in the UK. Canadian city pulls bison sculpture in row over representation of colonialism. Edmonton paired figures. They're going to get rid of the bison. Do you think it's really to do with colonialism, or do you think the bison's having a problem? You know, like the one that was mounted in Wortman's garage. Wortman and Lisa's bar on the wall. You know, the same one that's the you know, this one. Two other things I'm going to throw in here, unrelated, but not entirely. Cameron Ortis, the Cameron Ortis case. Head of all that. Nice 5 eyes. Audit. Garbage. Who's on trial? Right? Doing all kinds of funny things in the background. Maybe I've got 3 more things. New defense lawyer takes on high-profile case RCMP official accused of leaking secrets. Cameron Ortiz is accused of violating Security Information Act. Oh, okay. With his new lawyer, Ian Carter. Carter has since been appointed to the bench. Handy that timing. So, back to square one. There's something in law called the Jordan decision. If a case goes on too long, well, it's kind of like Lisa, just gone. You appoint Ortiz's lawyer to the bench just as things are going to start. Now he got to start again. I'm smelling a Jordan decision coming down the pipe. Maybe it's a prediction. Maybe it's like some of those other ones. Maybe I might be right. Maybe. I don't know. I do kind of sound like a bit of a smartass, but I think I know some of this stuff by now, and I have help. We are a team. We work together on this one. Charter issues. Yeah, okay, so that's to do with Jordan stuff. Pressure cooker stuff. Anybody know about the pressure cooker stuff out in BC? Ever heard of that? Couple cleared of terrorism charges. BC legislature bomb plot sue RCMP. Not all. I don't claim to understand this. Whatever. There's a lot of things going on. But I'll just read the article. August 31st. A couple who were cleared of terrorism charges after being accused of plotting to blow up the BC legislature buildings are suing the RCMP along with the provincial and federal governments. Oh, good. John Nuttall and Amanda Cordy were arrested Canada Day 2013 after they planted what they thought was a pressure cooker bombs on the legislature grounds. I remember Mercedes on this one. The arrests were the culmination in a lengthy undercover RCMP investigation into the couple who had recently converted to Islam. While Nuttall and Cordy were found guilty on several terrorism-related charges in June 2015, the pair was cleared of the convictions in 2016 after BC's highest court ruled that the pair had been entrapped by the RCMP. So now what do? The Court of Appeal found that they had manipulated the pair, used deceit, veiled threats to engineer a plot bomb. Nearly a decade after the pair had been arrested, Nuttall Curdy had filed civil suit against several officers from that red surge involved in the investigation, as well as the prosecutors in their case in BC and the BC and federal governments. The suit says the pair are suing for charter, general, special, and punitive damages. Oh, yum. As well as legal costs and interest. The suit claims that Nuttall, Amanda suffered serious harm to the investigation, trials, years of arrest, including imprisonment, emotional distress, psychiatric injuries, and damage to their reputations, which I'm sure wouldn't probably do a good thing. The court cleared them. The court said they were entrapped. The court said, yeah. And now we're going to get sued to hell and back. You. Me. I want my underwear back. Who else is probably looking like they may sue? Lisa. That was the way I took Mr. Lockyer's one appearance. Maybe another prediction. This is costing us an awful lot of money. Which is nothing. No, you know, your grandkids. Because the debt's fucking huge. You could just have local police force that aren't auditing everybody's technology. Like politicians. You could have it maybe so that an investigation is an investigation. Maybe that a inquiry is an inquiry and not a sham. 2006, 2020. Sham. God bless you all. And maybe we can spare a lot of fucking pain emotionally for people. Because that's wearing on all of us. You carry the bags of the 23 too. We all do. Nothing like they do, but it wears us all down. You can't look at stuff. You go to jail. What you talking about? I paid you. God bless you. Those support ducks. God bless the 23.